up, y'all?
Hello, this is Grace and Yellow.
This is our channel. Welcome back. So we took a long little hiatus. Um, we needed to work on our channel. Make sure you go check our channel individually, Yellow Dean One.
Hey, Grace, gorgeous, 1182. My bad.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Mm.
So say it perfect. Do you know what today is?
It's our anniversary.
Yes. So I don't know if we're gonna drop this video today or tomorrow, but on August 14th, 2026 would make our 1 year. Now remember, last time we told y'all we had been together, we have known each other for 2 years, but we been together for a year. So today makes it a year. How do you feel about it?
I feel good and excited. So, which I do.
Yeah. It's been a long year, long uncertainty, um, long we didn't know, we did know if we was gonna be together. So here's some pointers that we want to share with you guys on how to remain in a relationship, find the right person, and be able to work together within a partnership. So the first thing is, how did we remain in our relationship?
Well, we had to be more talkative, understand each other, stuff like that. Agreeing with each other, and we just had to be more communication with each other. We did bump heads in the beginning and stuff like that, but it's still like ups and downs. But it's still to a man that we do have to agree on each other, and you have to see other people's point of views or certain things. So
Yeah, yeah. And one thing she said mostly was remain together. So we see that a lot of relationships doesn't really go forward because some people worry about looks, some people cannot stand each other, some people just in it for the fun and they ready to go. They ready to find a new person. So we want to let you guys know that it's okay. In the first going, maybe the first 3 months, that's where you start questioning both of y'all relationship. If we're gonna still be together, if we're not gonna be together. After those 3 months, once that 6 month hit, you start to get a little bit more understanding. For us, the relationship, well, for me, after 6 months, it felt like I was with her for a whole year. But the crazy thing is, we wasn't. You know, we didn't understand each other at one part because you know things was like a little shaky in the beginning, but we fell through. I remember when we first went out, like when remember the basketball game.
yeah,
So go ahead.
at that basketball game, we wasn't together or anything like that, which we wasn't. And we was getting to know each other, stuff like that, and see what both are from and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I basically told her, I was like, look, lady, I don't know how you was in your last relationships or whatever. I don't know what they have done or whatever the case may be, but I know what I want, and I pretty much told her, like, I want her. I want her to be in my life. I want her to be the woman that I've always dreamed of. Like, if if you could ask her, she'll tell you, like, I used to dream about having a woman just like her, beautiful, great personality, on with her own goals, and we actually learned that we both had the same dreams and the same goals, the same vision to you know continue forward. We wasn't in the best places that we should have, but over time things had gotten a little bit better. We ended up moving in with each other
Yeah.
after maybe 6 or 7 months. And yes, like she said, There was some rocky starts. There was a lot of stubbornness on both our parts, a lot of strong-minded situations that we had to get over. But after a while, we learned that if we both understand and compromise, that we will be able to go forward into this relationship. Like I really, really love this woman right here.
Yep.
I really love this one. If y'all look at her, she is an amazing woman. I know y'all say it yourself. Even on her channel, y'all say, damn, she is so beautiful. But I be popping up and say, yeah, okay, guy, this is my woman. So, yeah.
So, basically, yes, I am amazing and intelligent and a beautiful woman and stuff like that. But yes, I'm just very happy and just very satisfied with a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So y'all gotta understand within y'all relationship, we see a lot of people that are ready to we just letting y'all know like it's all right. We understand some people are not matched for each other,
Mm-hmm.
but find the right person. Find the right person. Don't just go for looks. Don't just go for what the person has or what they got in their pockets or whatever the case. If you know that you both are very loving, very caring for each other, then stick with each other. Man, it took me at least what 3 months until I met your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed that they took a liking in me, and even though I haven't shown her around my family, it's a reason why, because my family is not as best of people to communicate with. They don't support a lot of stuff, and I decided growing up that I wanted to be on my own path, you know. So she has an understanding that it's not her the reason why I don't bring her around my crazy, real crazy family. And it's okay because a lot of times y'all have to understand that people aren't going to be there for you, but some people will. There's certain family members that know about her, and that's because I trust them. It's the level of trust, just like with her. Her mom, she trusted her mom, she trusted her sisters, and they gravitated to me. Now I can even talk to them, I can communicate with them. I got their phone number, they got my phone number. And so whatever questions that they need to ask, if she's not around, they'll call me. And we built on that relationship. I even explained to her family the reason why I don't be around my family. And they accepted it, they understood. And they always tell me, as long as you keep her safe, they have nothing to worry about. And that's the number one goal that I have with her, is to always keep her protected. See, she's like my sunshine during my rainy days, and then on her rainy days, I'm her umbrella. I make sure that she understands that I'm always going to be there for her, no matter what. And that's what you gotta see in your relationship. Stick together. Learn how to protect each other. Be on each other's side. Yes, y'all not gonna compromise on everything, but there's certain things that you gotta back up and say, you know what? Let me let you take the wheel. You know, there's times that she I may say something wrong as far as something I may not like that may be going on outside of me, but with her, she helps level things down, and I'm so proud, so very, very, very proud of being her man, you know. She's
So
shy. She's shy.
I'm not, I forgot what I was gonna say. That's it. I lost train of thought.
So how do you feel after passing a year?
um, I feel good and excited, which I am. Yeah, it took a lot just because, like I said, we did bump heads and stuff like that. We do have our disagreements where we bump heads and sometimes that I usually look at certain things and search for certain things and stuff like that, and just see a point of view and stuff like that. And I feel like it's okay that y'all gonna agree on different things and stuff like y'all not gonna be on the same path. But I would say just think about it when y'all separate. Think about it and just think things through and just keep working on things. Yes, both your ideas might be different. Both y'all might see different things and stuff like that, which that's okay and stuff like that. Everybody's opinion is very different. And so yeah.
Did you know in the beginning that you was going to be in a long term relation in a relationship with me?
No, I really thought it was gonna be a short matter of time, which yeah. I ain't gonna hold you. I really thought it was gonna be a short matter of time, which I did and stuff like that. We back, y'all. How
Yeah.
about that?
So, in the beginning of this relationship, I I told her, I said, look, I really like you. I think you're a very beautiful woman. I think you're very smart, um, understanding. And I kept promise her, I kept saying to her, like, look, we're gonna be in this for a long periods of time. And she kept saying, yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about that. Because I had to prove myself. You know, it's okay that you have to prove yourself because a lot of people go through things in other relationships, in past relationships, such as myself. I went through a lot of craziness in my past relationship. Won't really tell y'all what went down, but I will tell y'all that I knew that I wasn't fitting for that relationship. But when I first seen her, I said, you know what? This is the one right here. We may not be married now. We may not know what the future may holds, but we understand that we're going to work this through and we're going to fight to keep this relationship a whole. Like we got so many things, so much time to work on, so much time to work on, and y'all gotta y'all gonna see over time, each year, year by year, you're gonna see that we're still gonna remain the same. Um, not gonna say there's a promise because like I just said earlier, we may not know what may hold in our future, but understand one thing for sure: this is my partner in crime. This is someone that I can definitely say I want to go and take the longest yards with her. I know it's a movie reference, but yes, I do want to take the longest yard with this woman. And I gotta say, woman, I do love you.
And I love you too.
Yeah, yeah. She and what's crazy, it took her a whole year to say that. Yeah, it definitely did. Tell him, why did you feel it took you a whole year?
Because I was still holding stuff about my father and stuff like that, and it wasn't only about my father, it was other relationships that guys would tell me it, but they wouldn't actually mean it and stuff like that. So I wanted to actually wait to actually say, and it's okay because like everybody had past relationships where guys will say and don't actually mean it. So it's always good to wait it out and just see if he is the one to say it to. Because I never said it to another guy, but I had guys did say it to me. But I never took it personally because I know they just want to hit it and quit it. So just to get in my ear. So which that's okay. And it's like you don't have to say because they not meaning what they actually mean and they don't know what they're actually saying. So they just in that moment stage. So for me, I had a time like I wasn't comfortable saying it and stuff like that, which I wasn't because I never said it to anyone and stuff like that. So um, I didn't want to make a wrong choice of saying something that it wasn't gonna last.
Yeah, and from my end, um, it took me in prior relationships. I never was the first one to say I love you, because I felt like I wasn't ready yet, and I was being rushed, like most people in the relationships. I was being rushed, to say I love you. And I felt like there's a lot of things that need to be discussed before we said we love you. So when I said it to her, I knew in my own head, I was like, you know what? This is not because, who she is. This because how I feel in my heart. I love this woman in a very special way, in a very, very, very special way, and I learned a lot from myself during this relationship, and I learned things from her. One of the things I really learned from her was being patient. Sorry about the flies situation.
Yeah, we buy the trees,
Yeah.
y'all. So
So it's flies, mosquitoes
yeah,
everywhere. But one thing I learned was basically having patience. I couldn't really rush her, even though I used to have conversations with her, like, woman, your you your dad hasn't been around for a very long time. Rest his soul. And I understand that you don't share your love for a lot of men, but one thing you gotta understand is I'm really here for you. If I wanted to just hit it and quit it, I would have been gone 12 months ago, or maybe 2 years ago. I would have just left. But we started off as friends, and then we worked our way into the relationship. And the more that I was around her, the more I just grew more fond of her. I noticed that she had this amazing brain. I noticed that, she's very stubborn. I spoke to her aunt and her mom. They all used to say, yo, one thing about her, she's very stubborn. You got a job with this one. And I used to tell them, like, I'm there for the challenge. I love challenges. So I basically told her, like, look, I'm going to love you regardless if you don't tell me that you love me, and I'm not going to rush you for everything, but I am going to show you why I love you. And it's a year now, and I still feel the same exact way. It took me what 8 months to tell her that I love her. 8 long months to tell her I love her, and I wasn't waiting for her to tell me she loved me. No, 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 because I know what she was going through, but I know what my heart was feeling, and so I let her know, like, this is how I feel towards you. Even though she didn't believe me at first and everything, she kept pushing it to the side. But as time went on, she realized it. Just like she took time to show me her family. And I used to think, well, am I the right man for you? But she was telling me, like, look, I'm going to show you my parents during Thanksgiving, you know. And sure enough, the day that Thanksgiving came, I met her family. They said hello, welcome, and fed me. You know, her mom gave me like big plates of food. I kept telling her, no, not too much, not too much. But I understand because that's the family dynamics that she comes from, and I gotta say, I really appreciate being around, you, your family, you know. I'm still getting accustomed to her family because I had some bad turmoils with my family. And, it takes time for me to adjust certain things because if y'all don't know, I was adopted, and I was raised in a very, very bad home. Not so much of a bad home, but kind of strict and bad. So to see the freedom that she had within her family, I had to understand where she came from. So yeah, it's like it's been an amazing ride. And the message for you all, I noticed, yeah, I see her glasses keep flopping.
yeah, it's fine, y'all.
But one thing, the message that we got to give y'all is take time, be patient with each other. If you know you like that person, not everybody is perfect, right?
Yeah, and everybody got their flaws, and like I said, y'all bump heads and
Yeah.
y'all sit down, which y'all do in relationships, which y'all do and stuff like that. And even it was something because I did go to therapy yesterday, and which had got me a new therapist. I had to get the other one old because she wasn't really helping me really. So while I was in therapy and stuff like that, we was chatting and stuff like that, you know. And she told me to write down things that he do for you and write down things you do for him. And I wrote down things and it made me realize that he does really care and stuff like that. And that was something that I learned and stuff like that. So when I got the new therapist, she would know she was telling me, you know, nowadays she's good, but when you write down things that what both of y'all do, even when y'all have an argument, write down things that both y'all agree with, y'all disagree. And it will help just by y'all picking the things that y'all know y'all can agree on. And that was something that I had never heard of. I never just writing down things that a man would do and what a woman would do. And it would help you so much to realize what kind of man you have. Instead of just looking at their flaws, their behavior, their tempers and stuff like that, write down things that he does and what do he love and what he support. And that's what I had to realize when before this date come and stuff like that. I was like, it made me realize the stuff that he does care and stuff like that. So therapy is helping me very good, and she's teaching me things that I didn't know from my other therapist. So it does really helps me a lot to break out a shadow that I couldn't break out of it.
And I also had to learn, even though I don't have therapy as of yet, but I had to learn from myself, like, okay, you know, I have to be more patient with her. We both have our disabilities. It's very strong, but don't let your disability take over the relationship. I had to tell myself that because, I've been in prior relationships where we both had disabilities, and you know it just kept clashing. But me and her, we kind of have somewhat similar disabilities, and I had to learn that just like how people gave me patience, I had to give her patience. So, and also learn how to communicate better, give her time to communicate, speak. Even though I still have challenges because I'm a fast talker and I'm a fast thinker at times. But I had to learn that she needs her time to think and communicate. And so be patient with her. I learned that from her family, watching her family communicate with her. And, they wasn't mad when she took her time speaking. So I said, you know what? I got to learn the same route that she has. And another thing that I've realized that look at her, you know, she's someone that you feel as close to. I don't feel close with my own peoples, even with my friends. I don't feel as close with them. But with her, I definitely feel as close. I could talk about anything with her, and I'm able to be okay. You know, Before I used to just walk away, ghost, or do whatever I wanted to do. And I noticed that instead of it hurting them, it was hurting me. So I decided to say to myself, like, look, she's a different person. She's not like every other girl. She's her own woman, and I'm just amazed that, we had we had progressed a lot. I remember when we first really was what I was trying to talk about with the basketball game. Um, when me and her took a walk because it was at halftime. This is street basketball, not NBA basketball, but street basketball. And this is before we actually moved in with each other. Um, I noticed that she was uncertain with a lot of things that I used to say to her. And I'd be like, well, why is she like this? But then, me and her, we have a mutual friend, and he used to tell me, he was like, the guys that she used to be with used to promise her the world. And they all used to do things just to be on top of her, whatever her in better terms, in YouTube terms. But I used to tell him like I've I've come from a family that been together for 30, 40 years. My aunts and uncles, 30 to 40 years, 50 years, and stuff like that. And this is what I want to build with her. You know, I don't know how her dynamics, her family dynamics before I met her, but I know one thing for sure that I want to build that chemistry with her. And what's common about all of this is that, what some of y'all don't know, these flies is getting on our nerve.
Yeah, we sorry.
But what some of y'all doesn't know that some of our family members know each other, but they don't know that we know each other. You feel me? And it's crazy because we actually been around each other, but we never saw each other. You know, she has family right across the street. She used to live right across the street from my aunts and uncles. The same apartment that we live in, her and grandpa, her father and her aunts and uncles all lived in that house right across the street. And then on top of that, she got a cousin that she rarely speaks with that goes to parties with my family. So it's funny because we never thought that God was making a plan for us for a long time ago. God was making a plan for us, even though we both was born 5 years apart. But God was really working his magic. And it took one friend who I grew up with, who she just met in 2018, 16,
2016.
in 2016, was going to be the glue to us. And we want to tell him, thank you for holding us together. Even though I had my tough times, I had to separate from him because I, during my times of growing up, I had to face the streets, and I stepped away from him, and we wasn't talking for a while. No, we didn't have that relationship at all. It's just I had to get my life in order, and it's crazy that she was in the same program with him, and she didn't know there was a guy named Yellow Dean, and I didn't know there was a girl named Grace Gorgeous, which really not our names. We just giving y'all our tag names, but he was actually the glue. And the crazy thing is, he's a firm believer of the higher power, God. He's a firm believer. So God was working his magic with him and telling him, hey, I got two friends that you should meet. Even though you met one friend at your early years and your kid years, but I have another friend that you should meet, and she's going to be in this program. I mean, she's been through a lot of trials and tribulations, you know, and relationships and family history and stuff like that. And I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations within my family and relationships. But in 2022, I came back, no, 2024,
Yeah.
I came back, and I was going through bad turmoil with my family, well, with my ex at the time. And she was in his home. She was actually in his home watching TV, and I didn't even notice she was sitting in the living room because I was going to talk to my friend, and all of a sudden she pops up in the room. This beautiful face right here. This beautiful face right here. And once I seen her, I said, "Man, I want her." And he was like, "Well, go on. I don't I don't really care. That's my best friend. You're my best friend. Yeah, mine's will match up." Now he thought, we wasn't gonna last long. He thought it was gonna be a one-time thing and that's it. But we even shocked him, and he's surprised that um, we actually patched things up. And the crazy part, I was living with him for a little bit. She was back and forth at her mom's house and at his house, visiting his house and stuff. So we patched things up, and he was like, "You know what? I think y'all are a perfect match." So that tells y'all that God has a plan, or whoever that you believe in does have a plan with you guys. You just have to be patient and follow through with the plan. No, you can't just sit back and be like, oh, I'm gonna let him do all the work. No, 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 no. You can do the work too, as long as you focus and pay attention of your surroundings. Somebody may like you, somebody that you are connected to that may like you. Go for it. Especially you feel it within your heart, go for it. You know?
Well, yeah, like you're saying, which, yeah, that's kind of how everything got started and stuff like that, which it actually did and stuff. But yes, you just have to believe in yourself
Yes.
and just to believe in the relationship that you're in. And like I said, just take time out there if you still having trust issues or you need to work on love or saying that, and just write out things that what matters to you and what matters to your partner. You will see the outcome and out both of them and stuff like that, and just follow through of everything that you believe in and stuff. Like I said, yes, y'all not gonna agree on certain things, which is not, and that's okay. But as long as you just have faith with your partner and stuff like that, and that's all you need and stuff like that. And which he have known, which I had told him, I'm not a judge person, which I'm not. So with me is like, I trust him, he trusts me and stuff like that. And we just have that communication and stuff like that, which we do and stuff like that. Which we are. We both have different beliefs and different things. And we we both might not know everything, but if it's a question or something, then yes, I might say something. He might disagree on different things.
And learn how to be honest with
Yeah.
each other. I know there's a lot of relationships that you'll try to hide certain things or lie
Yeah.
about certain things, but be honest. We was always honest within each
Yeah.
other. We was more comfortable being honest.
Yes. Especially like I was very comfortable of just telling him I was bisexual and stuff like that, just to let him know and stuff like that. It's best to let your partner know what you are and stuff like in the beginning stage. That way they can know if they want to stay with you or leave. What you are in the day. Don't try to hide it just because you got a girlfriend. Or I don't know, she may like this or that. Just be honest with your partner.
Yeah,
And if your partner says she don't like it, then just find somebody else that match up to you, what you like end of the day.
yeah,
Not everybody not gonna like the same things that what you was is what you might want.
yeah. I had to learn that because, um, like I said, in my prior relationships, even though I was honest, but I felt like I was being controlled in that relationship. And even though when I first met her, I was still in a relationship. After we spent some time with each other, I decided like, look, she gave me chances. There was a time in the beginning that when I first met her and we went out on a date and everything, I didn't know if I wanted to be with the other girl or be with her. But at the same time, she had didn't hit 30 yet, 30 years old
Yeah,
yet.
because sorry to stop you, babe.
Hmm.
But yes, I did. Even the friend we know now, and I should tell him like I want to be in a relationship when I'm 30
Yeah,
because I still want to enjoy out my 20s. I didn't want to be in a relationship and still having fun in my 20s, and it's best to be okay with that. Just let your partner listen. I want to wait until I'm 30 to be in a relationship, stuff like that. And it's like I always had family members and friends that would tell me like, enjoy your enjoy your 20s because it's hard to really be in a relationship and still be doing you. So enjoy it and just pick out like a date for when you want to start your relationship and stuff. And then when you want it to have kids, like it's okay if you like you want kids in your 40s, then have or do you want to start your relationship in your 30s, then that's fine and stuff like that. Every woman has a time period of when they want certain things and when they want kids and stuff. Start it early and stuff like that. And and don't listen to guys that be in the bedroom pushing your damn head and shit like that. They just in that motion and stuff like that. But you just have to believe in yourself.
and what's crazy, I didn't even wait until she was 30. I actually waited. I told her, look, I don't care if you wait for your 30s, your
Mm.
40s, or your 50s. I want you now.
Mm.
So I waited. So I actually asked her out when she was 29,
Yeah.
you know, and I think you already had a plan with someone else, but
Yeah.
they didn't see through with that plan. And I told you, I
Yeah.
said, look, I'm not him. You know, I know what I want. I'm here to listen to you because the prior person didn't have an ear for her.
Mhm.
All he wanted was what he wanted, and that was it. But I told her, I said, I'm not him. You know, I'm not going to wait until your 30s. I feel like if I wait until your 30s, it'll be too late to have you. So I gave her up to 29. And it's crazy because when I finally asked her out, I thought she was going to say no. I'm still waiting on my 30s. But she took a day, probably took a day. And then, because I asked her on August 13th, matter of fact, August 12th, 2025, I asked her out. And she said, I think about it. And I was like, oh boy. And I kept telling my friend, I'm like, oh boy, she's going to say no. She's going to say no. She's going to say no. And then she surprised me and said, yes. And I'm like, you said yes? And she's like, yes, I want to give it a try. And the crazy thing is she did, you know, and like I said in the beginning, you know, I was already on and off in a relationship. Luckily, when I asked her out, I was 7 months away from being in my prior relationship. 7 months away, so I was free from all. I was free from the arguments, the fussing, fighting, the uncertainties, all of that. I was 7 months clean from that, and she saw it. Even though she kept thinking herself like, "Yeah, he's going to go back to her. He's going to go back to her," but she actually seen that I was being consistent of being away from the troubles that I was going through, and she said, you know, because she did like me from Jump Street. She said, not in the beginning, but as time, like maybe a couple of months after we met, she was like, you know, she did like me, but she was just upset with me that I just kept going back. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to stick this through. And the crazy thing was, when I was in my prior relationship, when I first met her, I kept thinking about her. I kept thinking about her, kept talking about her with our friend, and um, he kept saying, you know, you got to choose between one or the other. And I noticed that whenever I was around my prior relationship, I couldn't be the same person that I was to her. And even before I met her, you know, I couldn't be that person anymore because I just couldn't feel that. But every time I seen her, or every time I closed my eyes, I seen her in my vision. And I was like, you know, I just want this girl, and I think I'm gonna take the initiative to make that decision and let this girl go. And the crazy thing was, it wasn't because I left the relationship because of the prior relationship. I left the relationship because, no, let me back up. I didn't leave the relationship because I wanted to. We both agreed that it wasn't going to work out. Even though she wanted me to stick around, whatever, but it wasn't going to work out because we both had our issues that we need to deal with separately. But I felt that it was a match with her, you know. And as y'all see, we here today, a year later. So thank y'all for, I know y'all might comment and say happy anniversary and everything, but I'm gonna tell y'all this. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for everything. Thank y'all for giving us a try on our channel. Thank you for the love and the support that y'all give. Thank y'all for showing her love and support on her channel. Also showing support on my channel, even though I don't have that many views, but it's okay. I'm still figuring things out. Check us out. Like we said, Grace and Yella. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and also hit that notification. Hit that notification, guys. It's your man Yella Dean,
And Grace.
and we're Audi 5000.
Bye, y'all.
Grace.
is Yahweh.